begin to break down. The harsh dangers of space and the influence of drugs used in suspended animation start to affect their psychological and emotional stability.
The drugs used to induce hibernation can produce side effects, including confusion and disorientation.
I'm a sucker for movies about a handful of people trying to survive in space, and a strong but limited cast featuring Casey Affleck and Lawrence Fishburne helps carry the film.
Please tell me the situation. The impact represents no real danger. What if the whole system is compromised?
The paranoia and trauma of the characters is where the meat of the story is. The movie does milk the tension a little too much, drawing out the running time, but it kept me guessing, and for an ambitious psychological thriller in the vast emptiness of space, it made its point.
Your imagination is playing a cool trick on you.
How do you know that? Slingshot gets 3 gas giants out of 5. I'm Kevin Carr, and that's the way I see it.
That's our show for today. Have a safe and happy Labor Day weekend. America in the Morning for Friday, August 30th, 2024 is produced by Jeff McKay. Senior producer Kevin Delaney. I'm John Trout. This is Westwood One.
To buy your home, you became a house hunting ace, learned about loans, scoured neighborhoods, and asked the right questions. Now you're queen of your castle. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you will feel empowered to own your retirement like you own your home. Go to aceyourretirement.org, because when it comes to clearing financial hurdles, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Queen Latifah. Even with heart failure, my mother remained strong.
Because without strength, you lose hope. Together, we will rise above heart failure.
To help prevent, improve, or manage heart failure, go to riseabovehf.org.
The news you need, the news you can trust, the news you depend on. News Radio 1440. More at newsradio1440. WLWIAM is News Radio 1440. Also heard on 95.1 HD3 FM in Montgomery. Cumulus Media Station. This is the CBS News World News Roundup, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Vicki Barker. Tragedy in Dallas after police officers respond to an officer in danger call. CBS's Nicole Nielsen is there.
When officers got there, they found one of their own had been shot inside of his patrol car. After more officers arrived here for backup, they say gunfire ensued with the suspect and 2 more officers were shot. The shooting led to a car chase all the way up towards Louisville, where the suspect was shot, killed, and confirmed dead.
The 2 wounded officers remain hospitalized. Hitting the road this Labor Day weekend, CBS's Jared Hill has news you can use.
Roads are expected to be busy this weekend. Robert Sinclair Jr. with AAA Northeast say there are plenty of affordable options, which motivates people to travel.
Gasoline across the nation is upwards of 40 to 48 cents cheaper than a year ago. Rental car rates are 16% less than a year ago. And if we look to the skies, we're seeing that domestic flights are about 2% cheaper than last year.
Sinclair says if you're driving to your destination, you might want to hit the road early in the morning to avoid traffic.
And if you're flying, the TSA says get to that airport at least 2 hours ahead of time. The agency expects 18 million Americans to pass through airport security checks this weekend. In her first broadcast interview as 2024 Democratic presidential candidate, Kamala Harris has been pressed on why her policies on climate have changed since her 2020 run, telling CNN.
Let's be clear, my values have not changed. I believe it is very important that we take seriously what we must do to guard against what is a clear crisis in terms of the climate.
Rival Donald Trump has been dialing back suggestions a second Trump presidency would effectively outlaw fertility treatments like IVF. Quite the contrary, he insists.
For IVF, and I've been looking at it, and what we're going to do is for people that are using IVF, which is fertilization, the government is going to pay for it, or we're going to get or mandate your insurance company.
Multiple Massachusetts communities remain on alert for the mosquito-borne Eastern equine encephalitis, or EEE. CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder is editor-at-large for public health at KFF. She explains why there's cause for concern.
Most people with EEE don't develop symptoms, but symptoms of EEE may include headache, seizures, behavior changes, and drowsiness. About 30% of people who get EEE die, which is why it is so serious. and many survivors have long-term neurological problems.
There are currently no vaccines or effective treatments for Triple E. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go. I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partnered with Beacon. With their unique Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through September 15th, purchase GAF through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon, always building.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's down. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Tougher controls on cigarette sales.
The Food and Drug Administration is now requiring retailers to verify the age of anyone under 30 for buying tobacco products by 3 years, up from 27. That means more people will have to show photo identification at the checkout. The FDA also says retailers cannot sell tobacco products via vending machine in places where individuals under 21 are present or permitted to enter, up from 18 years. Michael Toscano, CBS News, Washington.
And finally, builders knocking down a column at London's National Gallery have discovered a secret message left in it by a major donor when the column was first erected in 1990. Funder John Sainsbury writing, "If you found this note, you must be engaged in demolishing one of the false columns in the Sainsbury wing," adding he was delighted at the thought that the column he'd always thought unnecessary was history. Sainsbury died at 94 2 years ago. I'm Vicki Barker, CBS News.
Want a chance to win free passes to Montgomery's biggest family festival, Hullabaloo? Just listen out for where we'll be next. Sponsored by Tire City Automotive, MTSB2C, Georgia Floors Direct, Sunshine and Pixie Dust, Newtopia Fun Park, Wright's Roofing and Contracting, Davis Fine Jewelry, Quick Feet, and Murphy Family McDonald's.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Join Sean Hannity Sundays at 3 p.m. for the Encore Show.
Chinese, the Russians don't fear Joe Biden.
On News Radio 1440. Your WSFA First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Compassion International.
Compassion sponsorship means food, healthcare, education, and more for a child in poverty. And there are thousands of kids who've been waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393.
Or start to our Friday will give way to a hot afternoon. Temperatures will climb into the mid to upper 90s under a mix of sun and clouds and southeast winds. Chance for isolated shower or thunderstorm possible today, lingering into tonight. Tonight we'll see lows hover in the 70s. Your Labor Day weekend features sun and clouds Saturday all the way through Monday. Highs mid to upper 90s with a chance for isolated rain and storms each day and lows in the 70s. And that's your First Alert forecast. I'm WSFA meteorologist Nick Gunter on News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Sons Automotive, family owned, family driven on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. Good news continues. Your 7 o'clock
major problems or accidents, interstate hospitals still moving smoothly through the Tri-County area. No backups or slowdowns. Keep listening. We'll keep you posted. Did you know that Thompson Tractor can rebuild hydraulic hoses for all makes and models? They can even do it in 30 minutes or less. Visit Thompson Tractor or their website, thompsontractor.com, for more details. Buckle up. It's the law. From Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, this is Major Delay.
Good morning. I'm Jed Davis. Here's what's happening in the news on this Friday. Alex City is waking up this morning under a state of emergency after being hit by a strong storm Thursday night. Alex City schools canceled all classes on all campuses today because of power issues and trees down. But all athletic events will go on later today and this evening as scheduled. Trees are down across the city as well. They're asking residents to avoid downtown, the area around Airport Drive, Cherokee Road, and Dadeville Road. Tilton County
And strong organizations with strong identities get stronger during chaotic times, and it's never been a better time to be at Notre Dame. Football's in the DNA of Notre Dame. You wear that logo anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world, people know what it is.
1-800-264-WSFA will call your highlights tonight at 10.
Oh, yeah.
That's your news on this Friday. And WSFA
Notre Dame! Go Irish!
Are you? 5 years old have jump-started their sex drive and energy levels. Lots of men suffer with ED for years, but now they're able to enjoy sex again. Montgomery Men's Health has changed my life. I've been able to use it for 5 years. Because of her. I had given up until I went to the clinic and realized there were no options for erectile dysfunction. Now I'm happy and my wife is happy. A visit for only $99. All testing, including PSA and testosterone test. Give the guys at the clinic a call at 334-440-3663. That's 334-440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com.
Okay, I can live with that. That's cool. That's cool.
Help you find a car you'll love for a monthly payment that fits your budget with the banks and the credit. And hand off your old ride, because you could get up to $4,000 more than Kelly Blue Book based on the price of the car. Races on, and the deal won't last long. I'm Matt Presley. I'm your dealer for the people. See all these gold medal worthy rides at budgetsays.yes.com. That's budgetsays.yes.com. Call.
Put your money where the miracles are. Support your Children's Miracle Network Hospital.
He's smart, witty, and fast on the draw. It's Mark Levin this afternoon at 5 p.m. on News Radio 1440.
Okay, I had to do it. I just got to do it. I mean, Labor Day weekend, I got to do it. Football, I didn't turn it right up. I just thought I'd, put this in there first. I'm in Alabama, but my heart in Indiana. That's all I can say. Good morning to you. Okay, that's enough of that. Wait, woman. I just had to hear this voice. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Okay. Okay, I'll get back to that. I'll get back to that later on. Now, let's go on to more important things right now, like our daily bread. Good morning to you. From South Bend, Indiana, home of Notre Dame. I just thought I'd throw that in there. Of course, I've been in Alabama longer than I've been in, but that's still home. Good morning to you. Hope today finds all of you well. It is time for our daily bread. A word from on high, something that'll change your perspective. I'll give you a new one. Either way, it's good for the soul. Good morning to you. I'm Kevin Elkins, and this is News Radio 1440. Our daily bread, a word from on high. Hopefully, it'll change your perspective or give you another one. Today is August the 30th, 2024. Today's daily bread is simply entitled, What's in Your Hand? And our scripture insight today comes from Exodus 4 and 2. And Exodus 4, 1 through 5, excuse me. But Exodus 4 and 2 reads, Then the Lord said to him, What is in your hand? A staff, he replied. Govern yourselves accordingly. And again, good morning. It is August the 30th. It is a day that has never been, and it is a day that once it is gone, it shall never be again. It is a once-in-a-lifetime deal, and once it's gone, you don't get a do-over. You don't get it back. You don't get to summon it from the past. You don't get to come back and do all the things today that you should have done that you don't. But more importantly, you don't get a chance to come back and undo the things that you do that you shouldn't have done. If you have lived a while, you've heard many, many yesterdays. And if we are blessed and given the grace, the love, the charity, and mercy of God, we may, I am not sure, but we may see some tomorrows. But if tomorrow should never be, then it is this day. That is the first day of the rest of our lives. What are we going to do? Well, do what you can, for whom you can, while you can, until you can't. Because somewhere along the way, your life journey, somebody, somewhere, even if you have forgotten, somebody helped you along the way with a helping hand, a kind word, a sharing heart, and sometimes maybe just a smile. Either way, it helped you, and you could do no less than help somebody else. Benjamin May said, whatever we do in life, we should do it so well that no man living, no man dead, no man yet to be born can do it any better. And I say that is the standard by which you live your life. You'll always be successful. Oh, you'll fail in a thing or two. We all do. But you'll never be a failure until you quit. We say, give out if you must, rest if you can, but you never, ever, ever quit. You never give up. Because quitters will never win. And winners may lose at a thing or two, but they never give up. They never quit. Rest if you can, but never, ever quit. Give out if you must, but never, ever quit. Never give up. Because quitters will never win, and winners will never quit. And no matter what happens to you on this day, which is August the 30th, the 2024, it is a great day, a stupendous day to be alive. Wouldn't you agree? What's in your hand? That's our daily bread for this day, August the 30th. We'll be back.
Welcome to today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread. Our reading titled, What's in Your Hand? Was written by Nancy Gavilanes. A few years after I received salvation and dedicated my life to God, I felt Him directing me to lay down my journalism career. As I put down my pen and my writing went into hiding, I couldn't help feeling that one day God would call me to write for His glory. During my years of wandering in my personal wilderness, I was encouraged by the story of Moses and his staff in Exodus 4. Moses, who was raised in Pharaoh's palace and had a promising future, fled Egypt and was living in obscurity as a shepherd when God called him. Moses must have thought he had nothing to offer God, but he learned that he can use anyone and anything for His glory. "What is that in your hand?" God asked. "A staff," Moses replied. God said, "Throw it on the ground." Moses' ordinary staff became a snake. When he grabbed the snake, God turned it back into the staff. This sign was given so the Israelites would believe that the Lord, the God of their fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has appeared to you. As Moses threw down his staff and took it back up again, I laid down my career as a journalist in obedience to God. Later, He guided me to pick up my pen again, and now I'm writing for Him. We don't need much to be used by God. We can simply serve Him with the talents He's given us. Not sure where to start? What's in your hand? Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Exodus chapter 4, verses 1 through 5. Moses answered, "What if they do not believe me or listen to me and say, 'The Lord did not appear to you'?" Then the Lord said to him, "What is that in your hand?" "A staff," he replied. The Lord said, "Throw it on the ground." Moses threw it on the ground, and it became a snake, and he ran from it. Then the Lord said to him, "Reach out your hand and take it by the tail." So Moses reached out and took hold of the snake and turned it back into a staff in his hand. "This," said the Lord, "is so that they may believe that the Lord, the God of their fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has appeared to you." Let's pray. Father God, please help us not undervalue the gifts you've given to us. May we hold our gifts up to you and allow you to use them as you will. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
All righty then. I have to do my thing before I get off there. I got a 5-minute thing, and it's called Be Kind. I did this Mondays and Fridays we do, but I think people need to hear this. So I'll be right back. Okay, don't go any place. I'll be right back. No more Notre Dame stuff. I guarantee you. Shamari Figures will be here sometime this hour, so we'll talk to him when he gets here. But right now, everybody needs to hear this every once in a while. It's only a couple of minutes.
Concept that vital virtue that unfortunately and regrettably is often forgotten, the virtue of kindness, being kind. I want you to hear a story. 20 years ago, I drove a cab for a living. When I arrived at 2:30 in the morning, the building was dark except for a single light in a ground floor window. Under these circumstances, many cab drivers would just honk once or twice, wait a minute, and drive away. But I had seen too many impoverished people who depended on taxis as their only means of transportation to drive away. Unless the situation smelled of danger, I always went to the door. So I walked to the door and knocked. "Just a moment," answered a frail, elderly voice. For after a long pause, the door opened. A small woman in her 80s stood before me. By her side was a small nylon suitcase. "Would you carry this bag out to the car for me?" she said. I took the suitcase out and returned to assist the woman. She took my arm and walked slowly toward the curb. She kept thanking me for my kindness. "It's nothing," I told her. "I just try to treat all my passengers the way I would want my mother treated." When we got in the cab, she gave me an address. Then she said, "Oh, by the way, could you drive through downtown? It's not the shortest way." "Oh, I don't mind. I'm in no hurry. I'm on my way to a hospice." I looked in the rearview mirror, and her eyes were glistening. I don't have any family left," she said, almost to herself. "The doctor says I don't have very long." I quietly reached over and shut off the meter. "What route would you like me to take?" For the next 2 hours, we drove all around the city. She showed me the building where she had once worked as an elevator operator. We drove through the neighborhood where she and her husband had lived when they were newlyweds. She had me pull up in front of a furniture warehouse that had once been a ballroom where she had gone dancing as a girl. Sometimes she'd ask me to slow down in front of a particular building or corner. She would sit staring into the darkness, saying nothing. As the first hint of sun was creasing the horizon, she suddenly said, "Okay, I'm ready. Let's go now." We drove in silence to the address she had given me. It was a low building. 2 orderlies came out to the cab. As soon as we pulled up, they were solicitous and intent, watching her every move. They were expecting her. I opened the trunk, took out the small suitcase, carried it to the door. The woman was already seated in a wheelchair. "How much do I owe you?" she asked. "No, you don't owe me anything," I said. "Oh, you have to make a living," she answered. "Well, there are other passengers," I responded. Almost without thinking, I bent over and gave her a hug. And she held on to me tightly. "You gave an old woman a little bit of joy," she said. "Thank you." I squeezed her hand, then walked into the dim morning light. Behind me, a door shut. It was the sound of the closing of a life. I drove aimlessly, lost in thought for the rest of the day. I could hardly talk. What if that woman had gotten in an angry driver earlier that morning, or one who was impatient? What if I had refused to take the run, or had honked once and driven away? On a quick review, I don't think I have done anything more important in all my life. I love that story. Sort of helps me allow life to make up its mind again. You need to remember that story. The times you will want to be anything but kind, because it is so much easier to bear a grudge and hate in return, or get back, or get even. Hate destroys the vessel it's kept in. Revenge never healed a wound. There's one thing all of us have in common: we've been mistreated by somebody. Some of you have known abuse, misunderstanding, and all of this has a way of siphoning your tank of kindness. It can make you hard. You can get on with hard. You can get along with it. In fact, some will even respect you more because you're tough. But I urge you not to be. Be kind, tenderhearted, forgiving one another. When I'm truly free of revenge and bitterness, there is plenty of room in my heart left for kindness. not until. Do what's right. Do justice. Love kindness. Walk humbly with your God.
Maybe you were born a really nice person with a gentle, sweet personality, and being kind to people comes pretty naturally to you, but I think more of the globe is not that way than is. And the good news is we can change.
It's amazing what one kind word can do. We don't think anything about it, but to the other person, it breathes life into their spirit. Our words have the power to lift people, to help them get through a challenge, to push them into their destinies. When you tell someone, I love you, I'm proud of you, you did great on that project, you're not just being kind, those are healing words. We don't know what people are going through. They may smile on the outside, but on the inside, they're hurting, they're lonely, they're discouraged. Many people have wounds from the past, wounds from a relationship that didn't work out, wounds from people trying to push them down. Just a simple word of encouragement. I believe in you. I'm praying for you. A simple compliment. You look beautiful today. It's no big deal to you, but to them, it's helping heal the wounds. It's lifting their spirits. It's causing them to believe in themselves. Your words can be what keeps them moving forward. God puts people in our lives on purpose so we can bring healing. Letting people know that you care does more than you imagine. You have the power to put someone on their feet. You have the power to keep them from falling into depression. You have the power to cause them to pursue their dreams. Be free with your compliments. You can think well of your friend all day long, but if you never tell them, they'll never know. God wouldn't have brought it up if he didn't want you to tell them. He wouldn't have put that thought in you if the other person didn't need it. You may not know them. It may not make sense to you, but God knows what he's doing. There's a reason they need your healing. Don't withhold it. Don't try to reason it out. In my early 20s, a young man started coming up to the gym to play basketball with us. He was a loner. He was very unfriendly, very cold. He never talked. Even during the games, he wouldn't interact with us. Most of the guys just ignored him. Something down in here told me to reach out to him and make him feel welcome. I found out that his name was Bo. When he would come into the gym, I would go over and say, hey, Bo, it's great to see you today. He never said anything. He just hit his chest twice and walked away. I didn't know what that meant, but I hit my chest twice and walked away. This went on for several years. I saw him 4 or 5 times a week. Well, I stopped playing basketball there, and I hadn't seen Bo in over 20 years. One Sunday, he showed up at church. I saw him afterwards. I thought, where do I know this guy from? He said, I'm Bo. We used to play basketball together. That's the most I'd ever heard him talk. He went on to tell how he grew up in the projects. At 14, he started living on his own. Nobody wanted him. He never felt loved or accepted. He said, one of the main reasons I went up to the gym was to hear you say, great to see you today, because nobody had told me that they were glad to see me. Those simple words, letting him know that I cared, were like life-giving water. Today, Bo is married. He introduced me to his children. He's setting a new standard for his family. What am I saying? Nobody is in your life by accident. Don't ignore what you feel on the inside. That compassion to encourage them, that desire to be their friend. Take time to make them feel loved. It doesn't have to be something big. Just good to see you. I believe in you. I'm praying for you. Just let them know that you care.
To be kind. 4-letter word. Kind. that could certainly make a difference in blind. So since I am the mayor of the airways, okay. Now I realize that the mayor of the city sometimes makes proclamations, okay, and I got you. But I think my proclamation today's got more weight than his. So I proclaim this Friday, the 30th of August, 2024, to Be Kind Friday. Okay? From now on, from this day forth, on the 30th day of August, all your days on this earth, you shall be kind on that day. Now, we like you to be kind every day, but I realize some people can make it awful difficult to be kind. So today, starting today, everybody that listen to the sound of my voice, today do something kind for somebody. And mainly people that you don't know and people that you don't like. Because it's easy to be kind to people that you like. No. Be kind to somebody you don't like or you don't know. That's cool. And if we all do that today, okay, you'll be surprised at what a few people can change the world, such as Admiral McRaven, the honorable former Navy SEAL, told us in his stories he tells us. So now, okay, so I expect to hear about it next week. You don't got to give your name, okay, but be kind and we'll change Montgomery. Okay, who knows? Maybe we kind of one of those guys carrying the gun down the street. Okay, well, just make sure he ain't pointing it at you. So today is Be Kind. It's Be Kind Friday. All right. From now on, I proclaim this. All right. Let me go to the phone right quick. I don't know where Shamari Moore figures here, but I guess he'll be here sooner or later. Good morning. Good morning. It's great for me to hear my voice too. Wait a minute. Wait. Okay. All right. Because you're not telling me that the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame is scared to play Alabama, even though we got our butt handed to us just about every time. But we won the big game back in 1972. All right. We won the big one. Okay. So, yeah. Really? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, listen, can we not hold a grudge all these years? I mean, come on, man. I mean, we had to do what we had to do back then. We had to do it. Okay, but we did beat Alabama. Yeah, I haven't, but I've been listening. I've been listening to. Oh, he's downstairs. Okay. I've been listening to the news uh, about how he's got something against CBS or somebody for racism or something like that. So I don't. Well, what they did? What they did? Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Really? Shamara? Yeah, yeah. No, just tell him to come back. Okay. Okay. Yeah, man, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, good. Because he's over there talking about racism. Listen, you know what beats racism? Winning. Okay? So stop whining, Dion. That's my man. If you win some games, you ain't got to worry about the racism. Okay? Just win some games. But you'd be surprised how quickly people forget that you're a loser when you start winning. Yeah. Like Democrats and stuff, they get always whining about losing. But yeah. That's right. Unless he can't win a game real soon. Okay, listen, I gotta go to my break here. We'll talk about Notre Dame later on. People down south don't know who Notre Dame is anyway. I ain't mad at them. Okay, y'all sit down. You don't get no taller, right? I gotta take a break. Shamari figures the presumptive winner of the not presumed yet. We'll wait till after the election before we give him all them praises. He's a Democrat, but I like him. Yeah, I like him. I don't know. We'll be back right after this.
WS first alert weather
damn well
forecast.
Republicans complain about losing way more than Democrats.
Sponsored by Loa.
Democrats lose, we cry. Republicans lose, they raise the damn capital.
That was not insurrection. That was a disagreement.
Oh, okay.
We disagree with what went on. So we disagree with what went on. So we kind So who these two young people you got with you?
So Ellis Foster and Jasmine Singh both with the campaign. Well, I grew up with Ellis.
You a lawyer too?
I'm not.
Good.
I did do a little bit of time in the army, so.
I was born. That's what I'm talking about. I gotta like you already.
On News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic.
But I'm assuming you wasn't a parakeet.
I was not. I wish I was.
Well, the halfway is better than not being in it all. I can't find his girl to come up here.
What was that?
I don't know why she will never come up here.
Outside of that, we're looking good.
I don't know.
Nothing else has been reported to send you on and on. It's back to school time in Midtown Plaza. Have your eyebrows threaded and zing ready.
Look at that hole right there.
The Dollar Tree and more.
Yeah.
Midtown Plaza and Street off of I-85. Another great McClinton and Company development.
And I think you're real Republican.
Huh?
And I think you're Republican enough.
Well, what she mean? Now, listen. I had to call Britt's office. The Britt's office. I said, listen, I know y'all went on the internet, and I know y'all saw this guy on the station, and you saw him black. You automatically thought I was a Democrat. That's why you won't come. They automatically think they think all black folks are Democrats. Exactly. That's how y'all listen. But I may lean right, but I ain't falling off the bench. Like Gandhi said, I love Christianity, but
Quality employees to fill positions in your company.
I could do without them.
But finding those people can be a major hassle.
So where you from there, young man?
I'm born and raised in Mobile.
ZipRecruiter makes finding
That's the only place in Montgomery, Alabama I haven't been yet. Because I heard they got a bridge down the water on it. I can't go. I don't care what somebody said. I going across them bridge with all that water. I just said they got a Dolly Parton bridge or something down there. Yeah, so that's just too much bridge. Yeah, that's too much bridge. I know I step on airplanes stuff like that, but
and the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter.
I can ride with somebody. I just can't drive across.
That's
right. Come on down to Mobile, man. We got a lot to offer, bro.
I got stuck on the Columbia Bridge. I don't know if you know it, Columbia River, which is up near Washington.
See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of
ZipRecruiter. So the state patrol has to drive my car. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com. I can't help it. I don't mind admitting it. But I've jumped that aircraft, been on aircraft carriers, submarine, been on. I trained with the Marines and stuff in that water with that big old APC down there. If I didn't know that thing was that deep in the water, I would never got on that.
Together,
we appreciate your service, bro.
I didn't do it for you, but
somebody got to do it.
I did the job.
Well,
Hi, I'm Dr. Anita Chan.
You are the benefactor.
Tip for kids.
It's like a worker at an assembly line saying that they ain't built a car for me, they just did it because they needed a job. They still built it, they built it safely, and they built it efficiently.
But when you do it, as long as you did it well, then you still help. You know, you built the car well. You were trying to smoke a doobie while you was sitting there trying to put the spring on, whatever.
Relationships matter.
Where you from?
Talk with your pediatrician at
Texas?
healthychildren.org. I got smart about mortgages.
Where did you spend time when you were in the military?
I was there for a blitz for a while.
You can find it at smartabout.
I went down to where Hassan was, shooting everybody.
For financial education. Smartaboutmoney.org.
You would have to think. You got to think a guy who says a major United States Army says I'm a what do you call yourself? A soldier of Allah. What you could, hey, we all should be. Don't get me wrong, but that kind of scared me a little bit. Never
keeps you strong. Together, we're rising above heart failure.
Shot too many. That's for sure.
Failure doesn't have to steal your strength. For simple steps you can take to help prevent, improve, or manage heart failure, go to
nowadays.
You see miracles all the time
Guys
at
who think they're
children's
girls.
hospitals.
Guys that go and come out girls.
That's why as great as children's hospitals are,
When the
they
Chinese
need our
get a hold of
support
us,
to
we
keep
gonna
miracles
lose.
happening. Put your money where the miracles are. Support your children's miracle network hospital.
Okay, yeah, and we can do it with a drone, yeah, hand to hand. I don't know.
All right. This afternoon at 2 p.m. on News Radio 14.
All right, folks, it's nice to have you guys as our guest this morning. Now, our guest this morning, a young man who was out there. He was out there the other day. From what I understand, I got all kind of calls on my phone saying Shamari Figures out there on the road, waving at everybody. I thought he was homeless, so I rode by. He don't know I rode by. I thought it was a homeless man over there, but it wasn't. No, it was the man who wants to be your next representative from the newly created Democratic District of District Number 2, Congressional District Number 2. We can talk about that philosophy behind creating that after one of those other days. But listen, say good morning to the folks.
Good morning. Good morning. Glad to be back, man. I feel right at home in here, Kevin.
Yeah, you're the only Democrat that does. See, I like a guy who's willing to come talk to. That's my problem with Republicans. They say they want to, but they'll never come see. No. But Democrats, y'all put up with me. I've been putting up with me for a long time. I appreciate that.
Well, look, you can't run from you cannot run from the people that you are trying to represent. You gotta face the fire. You gotta sit on the hot seat, and you gotta hear both the good and the bad. So we're always open to coming anywhere.
Okay, let me ask you, why should people put Shamari Figures in office?
Because look, I think like when we look at the role of Congress, when we look at why we send somebody to Washington, is to represent the interests of their state first and foremost. Right, the role of a congressman is to go to Washington D.C. and make sure that we are bringing home the resources that are necessary to make our communities as viable and as attractive economically and as safe and secure as possible. And that's what you get in me. You get somebody that's going to go up there and not be a pawn in a broader political game, not just going up there to do what someone tells you, whether it's a president or whether it's some other influences up there. You go up there to represent the people who sent you there. And I've had the blessing, the privilege to be able to learn how federal government works and doing so across all three branches of federal government. I've worked in a federal court. I've worked in a White House. I've worked in Congress before. I've worked at an executive branch agency. So you get to learn how government works. And that's not to be misconstrued that I agree with how government works in many respects, but I know how it does. And we need someone in Washington that has that understanding, that can leverage it for the benefit of the people and places here in this district.
I'm going to shut up talking to people want to talk to you, so let's get to the good morning. You guys are going to put those headphones if you want to hear what these callers are saying. Good morning, you're on there.
Good morning. Good morning. How you doing, man? Okay, well, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the call. And yes, look, we've been in Montgomery. I'll actually tell you, I've spent more time in Montgomery than any other city in the district. We get around at different places, but it's always good to be here and always good to be seen. Listen, I'll say, look, this district, I think everybody's pretty aware by now of how it was created. And the state, yeah, you're right. Look, the state's population of blacks here in the state of Alabama is at least 27%, because we know that blacks historically have a significant lower participation rate in census. But we do know that since 1992 or 93 technically, we've only had 1 of 7 congressional seats where a black candidate had a legitimate opportunity to even win. And we know that gerrymandering is real. It's something that has taken place for decades. It's something that both parties has done, as Kevin and I have talked about before. But as the court found in this case, it was done with impermissible racial motive to dilute the ability of black people to influence more than one congressional seat here in the state of Alabama. And so it is important for that. Look, I believe in representation. I believe in fair representation, and I believe in making sure that the districts that we have give people a legitimate opportunity to elect a candidate of their choice, and this district gives us just that.
Good money on there with Shamari Moore. Well, figures. I don't know where I came with that other name from.
That's the actor.
Good morning. Okay, then. Good morning on there.
Good morning. How are you, man? No, not at all. Look, I'm okay with. Okay, I'll answer that after your question. You said, do I agree with free
healthcare for illegals?
Look, I think we live for non-citizens. Look, I think that American citizens are the ones who should be entitled to American benefits. That's what I believe. But I answered that question. But look, to your first point that you say that I believe in gerrymandering as long as the black person ends up, I'm going to address that because you made that statement. So listen, you go listen. I believe that American benefits are for American citizens. I also do not believe that gerrymandering should just result in a person of a specific race getting a seat. Well, and you got a very specific answer. Listen, here's what I want. Well, because what I believe is a bigger problem than what you're talking about is the fact that we don't have. Well, look, here's the thing. We live in a state here in Alabama, and I'm glad you brought up healthcare, because people here across America, they really love to put people in these buckets that they think are just easy to point a finger at, easy to hate, easy to ridicule. But let me bring this home for you. You're talking about healthcare for illegal aliens, right? I'm talking about healthcare for people here in Alabama. If you were born here in the state of Alabama, you are expected to die before anybody else born anywhere else in the United States of America. But you don't want to call here and talk about that, right? That's the real issue. That's home. That's here. That's real. That's real life. Just down in Luverne, they just lost their only dialysis clinic that they have in the county. So people now have to drive upwards of an hour to get dialysis treatment. But we don't want to talk about that, right? You're worried about issues that aren't issues here at home. I'm trying to figure out how we get health care to people here in Alabama. I'm trying to worry about why people here are dying upwards of a decade before people born in other states, because it doesn't make sense. And it's because we're not focused on the issue at hand. We're focused on issues where you believe it's easier to point a finger at people. So do I believe that people in America should have a right to health care? Absolutely, I believe that. Do I believe that American citizens should be entitled to that right? Absolutely, I believe that. But what I do not believe is that we should be focusing on these fringe issues when we got real issues of life and death right here in Alabama.
Now, Shamari, I got to get on you on this one.
All right, let's do it.
I got to get on you on this one. There isn't a soul that knows God that doesn't think that people should get health care if there's something wrong with them. Because we're humanitarian. We believe in doing what's right. However,
we got a lot of those souls here in Alabama, though, just by virtue of the fact that we haven't expanded Medicaid.
And I agree with you on that. But on the other hand, I think it's a very distinct question. Do you believe that illegal aliens, people who are not citizens of this country, should be entitled to free health care? That's a very simple answer.
No, I don't. Here's what I think, though. Here's what I think. Right? We have an asylum process in the United States,
and they're not using it right now. So we need
they're using it, but it's broken, right? And
Yeah.
we know that. We can agree on that, right? So what we're talking about it in the grand scheme of things. Look, I got in this race because I believe issues need to be localized and need to be focused, right? And here in the state of Alabama, you know how many times that guy is the first guy I've heard in this entire campaign raise the issue of illegal immigrants receiving health care here. Right? If we put as much passion, as much dedication, as much care, as much concern, and much focus around how we get health care to the Black and white people here, and Latinos and Asian Americans, everybody here that call Alabama home, we'd be in a much better place.
Yeah, let's move on to something else. The other day, I call this Small Business Administration. Evidently, if you come here and you're not a citizen, you can get money from the Small Business Administration for businesses. Lady was on the air talking about how somebody was coming to buy her food truck that she had saved up $25,000-$30,000 to buy. A legal person, not a citizen of America, came to her and said, "Well, I'm going to get some money," and showed her the paperwork that he could buy her truck, but she couldn't get the same loan. Do you know any program
and that's a problem. That's a problem. I'm with you 100% on that. That's a problem. We have too many small businesses here in the state of Alabama that could utilize funding with citizens here in the state of Alabama. I don't know that that's the truth in terms of, I believe what you're saying. I believe that you heard. Yeah, I believe what you heard. I'm sure you heard what you told me you heard, but I don't know the truth of, these factual circumstances. Yeah. I'm certainly not personally aware of a program that does that. And in Congress, I would certainly not advocate for a program that does that.
I guess what it had, since we call ourselves Americans and we call ourselves Christians, we are taken advantage of by many, many, many people that come here because we want to do the right thing. You can't call yourself a Christian and not want people to be taken care of some kind of way. But as we see in New York, as we see in California, we get people getting money, and some of these budgets in some of these cities are being just dwindled down to nothing because we're trying to take care of people who come here illegally, and nobody wants to do the hard work and say, "Hey, listen, the bathtub can only hold so many people, and after you get there, the resources are gone." So would you take a staunch stance on this? I'd say close the borders for 5 years.
So I don't agree with just closing the borders for 5 years, but here's what I think. I think our immigration, our process, and this is something that's shared on both sides of the aisle. Everybody has that same talking point. I'm broken, right?
But everybody keeps telling us that, but nobody's been fixing it.
Well, we had a plan on the table to fix it that was actually drafted by a very conservative Republican senator that had bipartisan support that would have passed both chambers of the House and been signed by President Biden into law, except a guy named Donald Trump said, "No, don't do that, because then I wouldn't be able to campaign on the issue." Right. So it's not that people haven't tried. When I was in the Senate, we had bipartisan legislation that went forward for votes that couldn't get passed for political reasons. It's I will tell you, this is one of those issues. It's an issue that Republicans like to be able to run on, right? Because it generates fear. But here's what I will say in general with immigration: we got to fix that system. We have to have a system that makes it more efficient for cases to be heard, that makes it more efficient to remove people who should be removed. But we also have to understand the realities of where we are, right? Like when you have people coming across the border under our same system, right, that are being shipped on buses by these governors in southern states to other cities.
Because they shouldn't be here.
Understood. But here's the practical realities of it, though. You ship those people up to New York, or you ship those people up to Chicago, wherever you ship them to. Right, they are at that point. Their presence in the United States is legal, although they don't have legal status yet because they've come here as a migrant. Right, they've been adjudicated. They've been allowed in for a temporary purpose to hear their case, and then they ship them off from Texas. Texas is doing that. Texas's governors, they're shipping them off to other cities. So what do you do, right? As a city, do you just say, "Hey, come here, be homeless, right? Come here, don't work."
But that's why we're paying people $174 for part to make those decisions and to come up with the answers to these questions.
If you do it right, it's not a part-time job. You will go up there and represent somehow, I think we would get some solutions.
However, Obama and Biden made it a habit. Most presidents do, they call it an executive order. It's amazing to me how we can find an executive order for everything, but for some reason we got to get Congress to stop the illegal. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Often get overlooked. I'm a big believer in that. Who that thought? Yeah, but executive order. Ain't nobody doing executive order. I'm talking about and what's in office here? First thing he did two things. He opened the borders wide open, and then he turned around and told people to stop the pipeline coming from Canada. So America is a country that sells oil to other countries, and we turn around and buy oil from other countries. What kind of sense does that make? And that's right. So why are we selling to people? America has more access to oil than any other country almost in the world. Millions of barrels of Alaska, but we drive on a Waco, okay? Oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. I ain't responsible. Huh? We buying all kind of crap from China, and they got more pollution in the airways than anybody else, but we still buy their stuff. There's a book out called The Late United States of America. I can see where we're going. Yeah, I can see where we're going. We want to, public school, people get their student loan. But the hard thing is go student loan because you can't student to the and now you can't get a job. That's your fault. You don't have to take a loan now to go to school. Get a job. Doctors don't want to do medical. They get paid. They're not getting paid. Don't worry about it. Don't bother me. You're not ready to go. 90% of right now don't need to go. 33% of all the people who start college never graduate. And gender studies should not count as a curriculum. Women and men different. Women get paid the same thing. Intellectually, I agree. But we all know that men are physically stronger than women. So if you have to do the effective job, the job goes straight. You should get more money. The story says this. They do exactly the same job. That's all the arguments. Them. You are strong society. Now, John said that I'm not a male or female. I'm a them. And legally, some jobs, they pronoun here. All right, that's all. We're gonna play that here. And again, what people do is they lie. I don't care. It's not like me. You always say you cannot necessarily hide it from you. I do all that. What you do, you need to do. That's on you. You're doing the military now. You got to straddle the fence here because you don't want to offend anybody. I agree with you. I'm aware of this kind of money. This kind of money. It ain't no business that you did. So why do everybody goes for a job? Like Stephen, when you take that, often he said that, you know, getting the right, you just finish at the end of the people, you're better, then you're better. So now it's about what you think you are, as opposed to what you are. Get right here. They said, where you going? I said, going off? There's a pretty guy. They pulled me out. Yeah, in other words, whatever you think you are, we're going to get you. Let me show you this all. You're right down the street. I would get you to do a constant. Your the thing you think for, that's that thing to me. That's your problem. How do we bring it anyway? No. Yeah, that. We all know crazy. This is why we can't get together. We can't even bring up things. There's a big problem. We used to think definitions were universal, accepted. And now, because of the model of America, what used to be this is now this. What used to be that is now this filter. So, until we can get our language together in this country, we want to be a war. Well, they spend the time. And that's a good point. You teach different schools. We know what male and female are. We look at biology. We know these things are. So now you're trying to tell us what we in school and biology is not going to happen. Because politically, we want to say that there's something that we're not. I don't do. But society. I mean, we got to the phone calls and all that stuff. That's wrong. I got a son in school right now. It's the worst environment I've ever seen in school. People here that down south, right now, it's banned like the Democrats party, and it's public school. Not anybody. So the majority of the state is closed. That's right. They don't care about it. Right. They don't care about it because the education department is ran by the oh, my son's school. We got boys walking around the street right now dressing females, looking like girls. Everybody knew they're girls. Everybody knew they're boys. Okay, why should our kids put up with that? Exactly. Right. If you believe that the environment in school has nothing to do with learning in that environment, okay, you don't set a guy next to you and address the thing else. It does make a difference in the environment. I mean, it's more than more and more exactly, because the environment has been poisoned. And you have people in our school that are making the environment poisonous. You are like arguing in court. I think that's it. I didn't know this argument. We have a commitment with the law. We got time to do it. It's for no other reason just to be no other reason. We need to leave it off. And we are back. Our guest this morning is a congressional candidate, Mr. Shamari Figures, who is actually a pedigree that is somewhat distinctive and unique to the state of Alabama. His mother and his father. But your dad is in the household meeting person. Okay. And your mother's still with us. Is she still down? My father couldn't actually tell me that. Now I know what. Good morning, y'all never show me. Hello. Good morning, on there. Yes. Doing well, man. Good morning.
This is priority. First thing you got to do is, volunteer. Within Senate, Senate floor, really reinforce that number of people that live in. So it was he nodded his head too.
Well, after Mexico, I appreciate after Mexico, the OTP support one time to do it. Not that it mattered of me, because if you give me temporary money for a criminal problem, then sooner or later the money runs out and I still have a problem. But as I thought about it, at least if they had did it on good, at least some people who otherwise would not be not get care. And at least get your care initially. Yeah, I mean, it was a bad idea. The first thing is we have to the window to very close. At least 50 to 75,000 people will be now, it makes it like, hey, we're going to just reimbursement. It's going to be more expensive for the state to report. Right? So, now it's know about that. Hey, the whole premise of care, the whole reason that you keep kids on the health, the reason generally correlates with healthier the older they get, which generally means healthcare as they age. So it is much cheaper much cheaper to do a basic checkup for 5 years than it is to not do that. And when they become Medicaid and they get to age, then we got to pay some out. With the investment in like we shouldn't have to worry about people who get to the doctor when they're sick. That's the doctor roll around to make sure you got said this, it's a difference between being pro life and just being pro death. We are worried about the this life we all had things we all had things before, and sometimes say the truth, the kids are going to write the man God, the whole lot more. Grounded in what your parents should do. Okay, let me give you, I got you already said it. You want to be on there. On it. It absolutely was. Senator James Lincoln wrote the bill. Oh, well, we're talking about the immigration bill just 9 months ago. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about the immigration bill just 9 months ago that Senator James Trump Lincoln. What Donald Trump did was he went on to let Republicans have more.
Hey, it's figures. It's Figures. Democrats have always had a plan.
Good morning. Hey, you can't fight with Shamar. We don't have a whole lot of time left. So here's how I'm going to ask you a question. Let me do the fighting for you. Now, give me this. Yeah, Bob.
Hey, Bob. Look, these southern states are the ones that should. Listen, here's the thing. Here's what I meant when I said facts. Look, no, I'm not denying it. But what I do know is this. Here's what I do know. Here's what I do know. No, I'm not misrepresenting what I'm talking about. We were talking about very specific immigrants that were shipped in masses. So here's what I was talking about when I said that. We talk about all of the immigration related issues. You know, here's what blows people when they hear that. Look it up. Go Google it. Right? Now listen to Chuck. He's gonna lie to you. In the entire 8 years. No. Here it is. You see, the truth is absolute. The truth is pure. The truth is neutral. The truth is just that truth. So here's the truth. In the entire 8 years of President Obama being in office, there were less immigrating applicants on average over those 8 years when it comes to year for year. The other piece about it is this. We talked about the Southern War. Let me tell you what it is. Half of the people who are in the United States illegally, they are here on overstayed visas. They came in legally and did not leave. Which means that we're not doing a very good job, you know. And I don't think people will disagree with that. Here's what he said. If you're this way, if you're hateful to a legal immigrant, if you're supposed to be agree with this man, you give health care to 300,000 people who are legal immigrants. And I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't think you need to. Even if you were right, you know, say we're that Memphis County and Montgomery County, that people here should be able to Medicaid because you're a little bit more get the details. Good morning, on there. I got one or two more calls. Good morning. Yes, you. Good morning, man. Yeah, Mr. Lady. All right, man, I appreciate it. Listen, the one thing, and I've told him privately, listen, the one thing, I may not agree with Mr. Figures philosophically, but he is, I think, a good guy. I think he's well intentioned. He articulates well what his pattern is, even though maybe wrong. He can explain it, and that's all I ask for. What do you believe? And why do you believe it? And as long as you can articulate that to me, you don't have to agree. I mean, we got one God and 3,300 Christian denominations. What's that tell you? Everybody's not going to agree on everything. Okay. Let me take one more call. One more call. Okay, good morning on there. And I'm telling you. So look, so look, issues, federal government has had issues in both administrations, across multiple administrations, both Democrat and Republican. As a particularly this is a significant issue with the Trump administration and immigration policy and the board is on. Let me answer a question. And I'm not being Smith and I'm not being angry on it. You become a member of Congress, who do you me personally, who do since you agree that you work for the Congress and the rest of the why can't we get you guys what we want you to got you? Why your job, I don't really care about your personal care. You have to what we ask you to do, first of all, protect our board and send these people back where they came from until they come over here the legal way. But it's going to take 10 years to undo those 2 years that people put you on the job. You just spill a cup of water and it needs to clean it up. Here's the reality. On this, the vast majority of it's a big deal for us. It's a big deal. It's a bigger deal here in the state of It's the poverty level we have. that live here we got people that live here, students here in the state of Alabama. They read at the 6th worst literacy rate in the United States of America. We have teachers here. Teachers here in the state of Alabama are paying modern teachers across America. In school systems now, they are literally the most important job to the future of this country and this nation. We do not treat them.
Well, let me tell you, one of the reasons
you're talking about immigration, I walk out here, I'm not saying illegal immigrants flooding the streets of
but because one of the reasons why the hospital chart, let's be disingenuous here. One of the reasons why hospitals are closing is because illegal immigration and Alabama too.
People in the military right now, we ask them why their hospital is closed. Not a single person mentioned too many illegal immigrants.
And that's true. We have people in our school that can't even speak English, and they bring down the curve on everybody else in school.
It is disingenuous. What it is that that's
a lot of people it is.
It's really defining the group of people. Our problem here is not illegal immigration. That is not the problem. Easily, people left them before, and the other reason. We have more.
That's for the whole North and big thing.
It don't matter what it is. It ain't illegal anything. And at the end of the day, all of these issues that we're talking about, they mean nothing without life. And we sitting here talking about
talking from a party that believes in abortion.
No, what I'm talking about is that's right. Listen, we disagree on this. And I ain't even gonna go there with you. I don't know we disagree.
We disagree about that. You get your life. You get your life.
Okay, fundamental disagreement.
Listen, our time is up. You got to go someplace. I'm gonna give you the last word.
Look, we got about 2 months left to do it. What we have here or Mr. Elkins and my opponent. My opponent just took a trip to the border, right, yesterday. Criticized me for being at a Democratic National Convention, saying I was out of touch, but now she's down in Texas at the border, right?
That's kind of hypocrisy. That's hypocrisy.
I think so too. But I'd much rather see her at the border, Connecticut and Monroe, where they ain't. Discernible people we've seen where that leads historically. So that's what you're getting when you say you get work on the issues here. I want to figure out how do we get a hospital back up? How do we get Jackson Hospital? How do we get that hospital back up? Around an hour and a half. How do we get our schools? Our kids actually read. How do we take the time right now? We are in the 6th most illiterate state in the United States of America. And if you in Alabama, that doesn't make you angry. If that doesn't make you angry, if illegal immigrants makes you more angry than that, then that's the problem. That's the idea. We talk about the people who have to work with the people that we do have to provide to be here, to be the time to want to hire them. So that's what you're going to get. You're going to get somebody that's going to go to Washington, D.C. and focus on the issues. Real life problems right here in this district that we can get to work.
Larry Fingers, he's running for the 2nd congressional in Alabama. Made the best woman or man win in that race. And one thing I like about you and I come to the line for you, and we appreciate you coming up. I mean, if you don't believe it, if you don't defend it, you don't believe it. No, you do a hell of a job trying to defend it. We'll be back. Good luck.
on time, so we'll be back.
If I was a Democrat, I'd have dinner with you.
We'll have dinner with
Y'all all
you.
talk. I can see you get that. You can army man. Where's him at?
Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, brought to you by Sons All Over, family owned, family driven, News Radio 1440.
Doing action to make a difference in the community. When you came For more information, go to actionteam.org.
I enjoyed a wonderful week last week. Next day, we received a new. You know what it is? It's enough to inspire.
In this community free. We don't just wear this fruit. We live.
Bongino's weekdays
Okay, and we're back. I do apologize. Evidently, some of our audio was messed up again. But I did talk to the engineer yesterday, so we should have all that straight really next week. Before we get back to any calls or anything like that, let me tell you about the Alcohol Awareness Month. Okay? And did you know that 65 million Americans drink or drink heavily? That's right. It's Alcohol Awareness Month. This is going to set aside to raise awareness of the dangers caused by alcohol. 29% of all traffic fatalities are caused by alcohol. Impaired driving. Teen alcohol use kills nearly 5,000 people a year. That's more than all the illegal drugs combined. COSA, the Council on Substance Abuse, is bringing about awareness to reduce the pain and suffering caused by alcohol use. So if you or someone you know needs help with alcohol abuse, please, there is COSA here, the Council on Substance Abuse. So give me a call at 334-262-1629. That's 334-262-1629, or go to COSA.ncadd.org. Get educated on the dangers of alcohol abuse. Call again, 334-262-1629. That's 334-262-1629. Get help now. So for a sober and a brighter future, it's never too late, because COSA here, Council. My number is 864-1440. Like you tell us, talk to you. Good morning. Who is this? Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. If I disagree with something that she said, of course I would. Well, mhm. No, those are not working. Mhm. Well, I will tell you that some hospitals in America have closed because people keep coming in there without willing to pay for the services that they get, because a lot of them are illegal here. They can't pay. Mhm. But we are citizens of America. Mhm. Mhm. She did. Yeah. Right. Mhm. Well, next week I'm going to do my best to get it. I'm going to do my darn best. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Well, I will. Well, I will. I will. Listen, I will get on. If they'll come, I'll get it. I've been trying to reach out to her. Good morning. Okay. Well, you know, yeah, yeah. All righty then. Uh, good morning. Who's this? At 8:45. Good morning. If you could turn your radio down, whatever it is. Well, I can't tell who actually called me until they get on the phone. Unfortunately, I don't have a producer yet. 860-14. I was given a number, but I don't know where she is. Yeah, well, I've been trying to reach out to him, but kind of hard to find these folks. Colleen, I think what is her? You remember her last name? Colleen something. I don't. Uh, Although I will agree, I think she ought to worry about the border when she gets into. Let me worry about the border. Wait till you get in office. But again, philosophically, there's some differences that I have, but from a humanitarian position, listen, I understand what Shamari is saying. From a humanitarian, but it is kind of disingenuous to talk about life when you agree with abortion. I just find that to be hypocritical to talk on one hand, worrying about people who are sick, but on the other hand, saying, oh, but it's all right to kill your kids before they even get here. They don't have an opportunity to get. I mean, it's kind of kind of it's kind of a difficult thing to get my yeah, we worry about six people, but we believe in a system that won't allow you to get old enough to get sick. Okay, so that's why that's a little bit disingenuous, I think. Good morning. You just did it. You did it. Okay. Other things on the line anyway. I got a headache today. I really do have a headache today. Okay, now I know what's coming up. I know what's coming up. What's coming up is a holiday weekend. I know I get an extra day off. Which is good. Good morning on there. Yeah, yeah. Well, I think he's big. Yeah, Shamari's a big boy. He can handle it. He can handle I know some people. Mm. Listen, you get argue, you don't get an argument from me. You either believe in life, you either believe in life or you don't. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, if y'all don't have another part of the book, let me know. Okay, I want to come down there for this. Okay. Your people. So I'm gonna be down there. Yeah. Well, don't y'all have a party without me? Okay. So without, if that's what happened this weekend, okay. Well, we may need to hang out downtown a little bit this year just to see if something don't go down. So yeah, yeah. So I can be down there at the time. 8:50 in the morning to those who want to call it 8:40. Good morning on there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know if Sankey's an antichrist or anything like that. Hey, appreciate it. Let me get a couple more calls in. Good morning. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I can't let everybody call back and somebody say something about you. I got you. Okay then. Good morning. Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, politicians. Good night. Yeah. 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 What's the woman who's running against tomorrow? What's her name? You know her name? Dodson. I know first name is Colleen, I think. Yeah, whatever her name is. I think. Yeah, I haven't seen her. Yeah, she actually thinks she can win this race without me. I mean, what's up with that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see. Hey, appreciate it. 860-1440. Now, before we go any place, okay, now I do have the winners of the Montgomery Advertisers uh, of the week. With time. Well, yeah, I'll get time. Well, I don't have time. I'll do that next hour. The student of the week, maybe maybe the folks at school will on their next hour. We're going to say who won, who was in it, and how many votes they got. And I do think, and I left a message with the guy that's running this year, try to get them on the air. We need to get more parents involved and putting their kids up for this award. Okay? And I'm going to do my best to make sure they're going to get some from this station because we are bringing them up too. I'm just thinking, you shouldn't just have to play football or basketball to get recognized for doing a good job. Not all playing football and basketball because you know I'm making things same. So right on. But again, there are young folks out there doing many things. Remember, yesterday I was at the Army and Peace Station and with Z, and one of the young guys up there, just trying to do something with their lives. One guy, he said, you ever been to church? I said, nope. I said, never? He said, no. He said, okay. Oh, Carlene Johnson, that's the name. Thank you very much. I said, okay, have you been in trouble that nobody knew about? He said, nope, I have never been in trouble. I said, how in the one child that's not done something that he could be in trouble for, and that's Jarrell. That boy has never done anything. He certainly is not a kid off the old block. You all know that's what enough time. I spent enough time with the police when I was coming up, running away from home, leaving at the University of Notre Dame underneath the steps. Anyway, I didn't go there. I went out there to hang out, in the dorms and the students out there. Matter of fact, Father Emmanuel was there when I was there, when I was at home. And who knows, maybe the guy beat up one time on the basketball court. Because I know when I was living in Honolulu, okay, I know that when I lived in Honolulu, I beat Barack Obama in a basketball game one time. I know that was him. Because there were black folks over there. Okay? So I beat the former president in a basketball game. Okay? I'm just saying, I used to live in Kaimo Peak. Okay? So I beat him. Now he probably won't remember it, brother. I can see I was a little shorter than him, but I beat him. So now if he ever come on this station, I'll rack his brain and he'll remember me whooping him on the basketball team. Because I put that stick together over there. Sometimes he did. Sometimes he did. So now I'm waiting for the New York Times to come out to give me some ear time, give me some people on this because I'm probably the only guy in the country that I live in Honolulu. I just go out to my basketball. You can play ball. You can play. And the kids play as good as I did back in the day. Okay, I'm just saying. So I'm just saying, nothing wrong with that. We're good. It was all right. But one of these days, if I get his number, I'm going to call and ask him if he remember that. Okay. So I'll be back in a little bit here. I said, yeah, I can play. I can play the ball. I was getting back in the I just could never get picked up because I was short and they always let me sitting on the curb waiting to get put in the game. But I did beat Obama. So, how many other people would say to beat Obama, the former president, in a basketball game? I did. I'm listening. For real. Let's see what.
News Radio 1440.
Well, they're asking residents. All your highlights.
News Radio.
Is controlled by server million people. 3 million travel in the Midwest is happening evenly. And winds Wayland to Nashville.
His history seems very
Okay, we are back. As I promised you during the last hour, we are going to, I got to call over Chris Julie and put my son up on the reward, okay? Because he needs to be in the reward. Okay? If for no other reason, that's the reason. Here are the nominees for the first nominee for the 2024-2025 school year, which school officials said and what school officials said about them. Akia Searles of Park Sergeant High School. School officials described Cadet Searles as a true definition of a leader. She has no problem taking charge for her classmates, someone who gives respect but also demands it. Kamari Burns of Toggleville High School. Kamari is a 10th grader who is involved with basketball, is a member of the student council, and is a member of the FBLA. I still don't know what FBLA stands for. Frank Bravo Lima Alpha. I don't quite know. I don't like admitting that. I mean, I know a lot of things, and there are a lot of things I don't know. So, I can text you, brother, 9015022, and tell me what the FBLA is. I guess it's got something to do with high school. Kamari maintains good grades while being super involved in school. School officials describe him or her, but I don't know if this is a male or a female, as a class leader who goes above and beyond to her, get her work done. Is always willing to lend a helping hand to a classmate and a great leader. Let me see what that stands for. Oh, Future Business Leaders of America. Why, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay, so FBLA, Future Business Leaders of America. Outstanding. Last but not least, last but not least is Lauren Gordon of Prattville High School, a fourth-year cadet in the school's Air Force Junior ROTC program. School leaders describe Gordon as dedicated with diverse leadership skills, kind of like me in a way. She's among the top of the 132 cadets in her unit, and as a cadet operations group commander, she is responsible for commanding the entire corps and overseeing the day-to-day general operations. Okay? Her unit finished first place overall in the 2024 Alabama State Drill Academic and Fitness Competition hosted at Jacksonville State University. He is also an active volunteer in the school and community. He's also volunteered 36 community service events, totaling more than 76 hours served. And now, wait a minute. Okay, now I'm going to show you. Okay. Yeah, I have to get the right music for this because that's just where I roll. Okay, now who was the winner of the first 2024-2025 school year for the Student of the Week given by the Montgomery Advertiser? And again, I left an email with the young man who writes this stuff up, and hopefully he'll get back with me. Okay, we'll talk about it. So who's the winner? Anybody know? Okay, here we go. And the winner is with 57.53 votes, or 57.53% of the votes, which actually came to how many votes we should end up with. Let me get this right. All right, let me get the right number of votes there. I'm sorry, I got two models. Okay. All right, stop. Hold the plate. Okay, hold the plate. Let's get back. Okay, now, with 57.53% of the vote, which represents 2,127 votes, the winner is, all right, and attention to order for the winner of the first 2024-25 school year for the Montgomery Advertised Student of the Week. It is Akaya Searles of Park Crossing School. Congratulations to her. Yeah. Okay, that's enough of that. Yeah. That's not now. Now let me give you okay. Let me see. Okay, let me see. How you spell applause? APL. Okay. Well, anyway, we'll get our hand claps here in a little bit. Okay. So anyway, congratulations to Akaya, Akaya Searles, Park Crossing School. Congratulations to her, and don't forget to put some of your other kids in for some of these things. At least they get to hear their name on the radio. They don't have to play basketball, and they ain't got to get hit by somebody that's bigger than them on the football field. So we gonna hook them up. Let me go to the phone right quick too. This is good morning. Yes. No. Wow. Well, it seems that a lot of people who had care before Obamacare now are suffering to be able to afford it now. And I thought this program was well. The problem is if you didn't have anything, Obamacare seemed to help you out a little bit. But if you had a little bit of an income, and you didn't get as much help. Mm-hmm. Mm. Okay. Okay. And you know what they say, figures don't lie, but liars figures. Liars figure. I'm not talking about my former guest. I'm just saying that that's what they say. Okay. Figures don't lie, but liars figure. Okay. I'm just saying. Anyway, one more time, the winner of the 2020 24-25 student first year of the student winner for that particular award is Akaya Searle from Park Culture Park. With 57.53% of the votes, he's a winner. 2,127 votes. Really, really bad. With other things to talk about.
Let's see if you can even get to the damn mark this time. Remember, like we practice, walk around, go up and say hi to the general, and then get behind the podium.
Alrighty then. Yeah, we're going to that mic up. I'll get caught with a hot mic. Good morning to you. It's 9:21 in the morning on this Friday afternoon. Friday. Is it Friday? It's Friday morning. Yeah, that's what it is. Still Friday morning. Let me see who's going to wake up early. Good morning. Thank you for holding. Yeah. Okay. And he was saying, well, the question was about why the hospitals are closing. Mhm. Mhm. I think it's a complicated, but I do believe it's a complicated issue. But we, if I had the wherewithal to do this, we would put everybody on one pair. If you would opt out of it, then everybody would be on Medicaid or Medicare. Mhm. Yeah, I don't understand that. Mhm. But there is an alternative, though. There's an alternative. Yeah. 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 Yeah, they did. Yeah. Yeah, they did. But the difference in Social Security, though, is that we pay money into Social Security. It's not that they're giving it to us. And they do. The question is how to get there. Mhm. So why do you believe, well, why do you believe, since if what you say is true, which I think part of it is, why do you think not many people signed up for it? Because they found out that it wasn't what it was being told to them on. So you telling me that the majority of poor folks without insurance is stupid? So, So all they gotta do is look for themselves. All they do is put in forward. Yeah. Yeah. But then, wait a minute. So who saw the day that you believe the lie? Right. Good morning. Mm, okay. Thank you. Mm, okay. Mm, all right. Appreciate it. Good morning. You did. You did. Mhm. Mm. But now, what happens to the people? I do get intentional, but I do think that people who are definitely real poor, now for military people, we got to go to the kind because I was part of the deal when we were in the military, and I got that. But everybody don't have that. It's not happening to the people that are in between. Mm. The church is still got to pay for the healthcare. Well, we're the church, but it still costs. It's still going to cost them. Nothing, the ministry. Yeah. We advertise, right. We advertise for people. We put them on air in money. And let's talk about how they, because they're not government, but they get together with other people, Christian folks, and they share the experience of each other's thing. I don't know how that works, but we're certainly going to get them on the air, and let's have a conversation about that. I agree with it. Hey, appreciate that. I appreciate your call. Good morning, William. Morning. Hmm. Mm-hmm.
biggest fund in the history of the medical profession. And so the hedge funds and those people, they're just buying up, they want access to it. And whenever the government puts something out there, you better believe and just those people that you put to the concept. Whenever the government even if you because it's create jobs for president or the this is where we are in America. The other thing that the is pushing. But when you got three major entities we just took off of it all. All of those people, they can bring it up. Figure's mother, she could introduce that tomorrow. We need to make the certificates of need more available. They stopped a maternity hospital being built county not too long ago. You remember that? They did not want that there. They wanted them babies at New Baptist or wherever. Maternity ward.
Yeah. But he was being Mr. Figures. Come on. That was it. Yeah, I got it. I got it right. What my father like I said, great money on there. Yes. Who be there? Who? Just got four making that. Good. Of course, $5 million, not a whole hell of a lot of money. You know. Yeah. But this, yeah. But here's our problem with the government money, though. Here's the problem with the government money. So they get the money. What can they do with it? Therein lies the problem with government money. The strings that come with, you know what they say? If the elephant gets his trunk underneath the tent, And what's coming? Get in. Good. So let's see, because we still got people in Macon County who need their houses helped with, and you say, oh, but you can't use the money for that. You can't use the money for this. You can't use the money for that. So what I like, hey, it's all right, see, I got $5 million, but what can we use the money for? That's the question. So when you find out, let me know. All right. Let's see use the money for. We'll be back. 864-1440 is the number here. I'm going to start with somebody on this one. Weekend coming up. Supposed to be getting cooler next week, as a matter of fact. Remaining hot through the weekend holiday, but evidence shows that for cooler temperatures late next week, and hey, maybe the fall eclipse or whatever they call that thing, maybe that's coming in, and yeah, be cooler. Anyway, here we go. Oh, whatever you do, if you drink, don't drive. If you drive, don't drink. Okay? We'll be back.
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery on select smart beds when you add any base. Ends Labor Day. Find a store near you. Visit sleepnumber.com.
I got smart about mortgages, smart about college.
When it comes to your money, whatever you want to get smart about, you can find it at smartaboutmoney.org, a free online resource from the nonprofit National Endowment for Financial Education. Smartaboutmoney.org, the easy place to start when you want to get smart.
Septic tanks are used when municipal sewers are not available, and maintenance is important. Failing septic tank systems can endanger your family, pollute the environment, and can be expensive to repair. You can prevent your system from failing by having your tank pumped every 3 to 5 years, keep a separate container for grease and dispose of it properly, use detergents low in phosphates, and spread laundry over several days as to not overload the system with too much water. This message brought to you by the Alabama Department of Public Health and this station.
There's a threat targeting America, one that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org. Brought to you by the Stephen and Alexandra Cohen Foundation and this station.
Russell Wilson here with Play 60, United Way in the NFL, are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day. Healthy kids! To get involved, go to unitedway.org/play60. Are you guys going to do it every time? Yes, of course! Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
If you're always missing part of your favorite show because you have to get out of the car, don't worry, take us with you, either through our streaming app or through your Alexa or Google smart home device. News Radio 1440.
Yeah, these are season tickets, but I've got the, for tomorrow separated out in case you need to go to bed. All right, I appreciate it. Bye. And thank you again. Of course, thank you.
Oh, here we go. Okay. All right. I had to go outside. I was talking to the who was I talking to? I was talking to the engineer. We're trying to get this phone thing squared away here. There was there is a article in the paper this morning. I know there are going to be some people who disagree with me on this. They won't let you be a volunteer fireman. I guess it's in Alabama someplace. If you've been charged with a sexual crime back in your life, and I asked myself, so now we're supposed to be a nation that forgives. We're a nation that sort of a nation of second chances. So because you did something when you were 17 years old, are we going to tell you that we're going to say that you can no longer participate in the American dream? Now, I mean, I understand you're 50, and that's what I'm with you now. But you did something when you were 17. And now we tag you as a sexual predator for the rest of your life. Because you mess around with someone that was 16. Now, there's a limit to it. But just how far you can hold things against you. Because if you get doors right against us like that, nobody will get to heaven. I'm just thinking, some things we do in the name of politics just doesn't make sense to me. So I can't help to save somebody's life in a fire because when I was 17 years old, I did something stupid. Okay, I'm just saying. I think that's I don't think that's a good law. Anyway, good morning. Who's this? Who? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's better to look at an idiot. It's better to look at an idiot than to be one. So yeah, yeah, right. Mm-hmm. For those 18 young men who died. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I mean, he was a former president. But don't presidents, aren't they, what's that word they use in college? Aren't you pretty much a president emeritus if you once were a president of the United States? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. But I do know that most politicians want to think that if you are running for president, I think that you do have a right to have certain information. So if he's the former president, I do think that they do consider, because we don't know who's going to win. Hmm. So you got to talk to everybody. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Sure. Yeah. 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 But no, we're okay. You're probably right. All right. Yeah. Well, they did. I feel you. They don't want him to. They don't want him to stir up the pot that needs stirring. They don't want that. Hey, appreciate it. Let me take another call right quick. Who's next? Good morning. Pretty good. Mm-hmm. 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 I do too. I have nothing to say. I got nothing to say. Mm. I just don't. They never gave me a bill. Good. Yeah. Right. Yeah, yeah, very well. Yeah, they get a lot better, and they're getting a lot better at reminding you that you got an appointment. You know, so I got no problem with it. VA. Yeah, yeah. You know, right, the people that complain, and what I have seen, are people who spend a year in, 2 years in, or whatever the case may be, and think the world owes them something. People who've been there for a while and been out, knowing what it's like out here too. Oh, I don't never complain about the year. Yeah, right, right, yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, yeah. Well, again, the problem is the president can't change legislation that takes Congress. And if they can't get together and come up with a plan that everybody will go for, you're going to be fighting this for the next 40 years. So, I mean, the president can't do anything. He don't pass law. Yeah. All right. Appreciate it. Good morning on there. I know you are. Good morning. Good morning. Right. All right, appreciate it. That's right. There is no free lunch, and if it's free, somebody paying for it, and eventually it's going to be you. Good morning. Pretty good. Now, did he ever get charged with insurrection? Nobody did. The Constitution says, wait a minute, the Constitution says you have a right to redress grievances against your government. And that's got nothing to do with it. That's what the Constitution says. He didn't do it. Somebody else was doing it. His photographers. Okay, but I can't blame him for everything they do. Oh, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And everybody's entitled to their own opinion when it comes to that. No, we're tired of the one that's in there now. And we tired of her too. She been there 4 years with him. Yeah. There was no insurrection. That's politics. There was no insurrection. And nobody led an uprising against the government. All right, see you later. Gotta go. Show me somebody with charged with it, and I'm with you. Good morning. That's a crock. The Democrats try to funnel the money to them. But it's not a fact. Do poor people give you a job? No, but do poor people give you a job? Rich people give you jobs. Poor people don't. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you can get a job from the rich people and get some money. I gotta go. They're such whiners. We'll be back Monday, Tuesday, whatever. I like to know rich people. Bye.
This morning under a state of emergency after being hit by a strong storm Thursday night. Alex City schools canceled.
Always whining about rich people. What we ought to be trying to do is become one of them. That bypassed me though.
Trees are down across the city as well. They're asking residents to avoid downtown, the area around airport.
I love you.
Chilton County also got hit with a strong storm. A thunderstorm moved through Clanton during the Chilton County Jemison football game. That game was delayed and fans had to take cover. Storms once again possible tonight. You might want to grab that umbrella if you're heading out to a Friday Night Fever football game. And as always, we need your help. If you go to a game, call in that final score to our Fever hotline, 1-800-264-WSFA. We'll have all your highlights tonight at 10. That's your news on this Friday. I'm Jed Davis for WSFA 12 News.
News Radio 1440, WLWI AM, the home of the Dan Bongino Show. Also on 95.1 HD3 FM, Montgomery, Alabama.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. While millions of Americans crowd the airports ahead of the holiday, driving is a lot less painful. Jim Krasula's been talking to folks in Virginia.
Motorists this holiday weekend are enjoying a break at the gas pump.
I'm thrilled.
A lot better.
It means I put more money away in the bank.
I don't know how long it's going to go down and keep going down, but I'm going to get it while I can.
The national average for a gallon of regular unleaded gas is $3.44. That's down more than 40 cents a gallon from a year ago. Jim Krasula, CBS News, Danville, Virginia.
Yesterday was a big day on the campaign trail with Kamala Harris sitting down for her first interview on CNN, where she was asked about the war in Gaza and efforts to bring it to an end.
I've met with the families of the American hostages. Let's get the hostages out. Let's get the ceasefire done. But no change in policy in terms of arms and so forth. No, we have to get a deal done.
Donald Trump said if he wins a second term, he'd make IVF treatment free for women. Either the government would pay, he said, or it would be mandatory for insurance companies to foot the bill. CBS's Ed O'Keefe is looking at the latest polls.
Look at that growing gender gap. 56% support among women for Harris, 44% for Trump. He's essentially saying to them, don't leave me. We realize that this has become a concern.
I wouldn't work on assembly lines either.
So by now saying essentially a Republican president would support paying for all this, that's taking essentially a Democratic position.